everybody, hope you're having a great weekend. I'm Carly from Bell's Books and today I'm here to do my June book haul for you. I've turned my camera around today because the light in here is very dull. My bulb's blown. I've got to go down to Screwfix. So I'm facing the window to see if you can... Anyway, let's move on and jump straight into the books. Now, this month I thought I wasn't going to have much for you. I went to the library and got out a few from the library, but I'm not supposed to be spending a lot of money on books. But you know, when payday comes around, you get well excited. You go into Waterstones and like, eek! That's what happened. So, first up is my new book club book, and it is Celestial Bodies by Jotka Al-Hati, translated by Marilyn Booth. So this book won the Man Booker International for this year, so it was only just recently announced. I knew nothing about it. It is set in Oman, about the lives of three sisters, and I think it follows their lives and loves because it talks about them getting married, but it's tracing the lives of them, and it's tracing the history and the people of Oman, which I know nothing about, so I'm actually really looking forward to getting started with this because I feel like I'm going to learn something from this. And just flicking through it, the prose is different, like the type is different for each chapter, so I think it's told from all of their different perspectives. So I will read this within the next couple of weeks because my book club is coming up in beginning of July. So I'll talk about that fairly soon. But yeah, excited to get to this one. Next was a surprise purchase. I saw Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor in my Waterstones. And Jean from Jean's Bookish Thoughts was talking about this a while ago now. She read it, I think, for the Femme Fantail readathon. So I heard her talking about it and I thought, oh, that sounds quite good. I don't often read much fantasy, so I've been trying to get into that just to broaden my reading a little bit, and this sounds really great. So it says it's about a teenage girl in Prague, but also it's split between the real world and a fantasy world. So she's in both and she moves between them. She's got some kind of tie to this character called Brimstone, and I think the fantasy world is where she grew up. So I don't know much about this, but yeah, there sounds like lots of strange things going on in this fantasy world, and it's all coming to a head, and she has to choose which world she wants to stay in, the human world or the fantasy world. So this sounds very exciting, and I think this might be the first of a series from what Jean said, so excited to get to that. This is a young adult novel, but yeah, really looking forward to that. Next, I bought When Hitler Stole Pink Rabbit by Judith Kerr because she died recently. Obviously, that was in the news. And I haven't read this. It wasn't a book that I read when I was younger. I don't know when it came out, actually. So it's probably... let's have a look. When it was first published. It was first published in 1971. Okay, so... Then I could have read it when I was younger, but I just didn't. I didn't hear of it. So this is a fictional account of when Judith was growing up in Germany and she had to leave because it was 1933 and obviously the Nazi regime was kicking in, and her family had to flee Germany and come to Britain, I think. So it's, I guess, a fictionalised account of that, told as a story for children. So I'm looking forward to reading that because Jen loves it. It's one of her favourite books when she talks about it on her channel. So yeah, check out her channel and she does a really lovely video about that. So I'll link that down below. Next, I have Life in the Garden by Penelope Lively. Now, I've mentioned this before, but I am an avid gardener and I have an allotment. So I saw this, which again I think it's kind of a gardening book, but I think it's also about her life as a gardener, and it weaves in things from other writers. So like on the first page she talks about Virginia Woolf and how Virginia Woolf went gardening and something she writes in her diary. So I think this book is a bit of a mixture of not just gardening, but history, fashion, politics, reflections on time, and the taming of nature. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this, and it's only a little book, so it shouldn't take me too long to read, so hoping to get to this very soon. Next, I bought Educated by Tara Westover. Again, I've heard lots of good things about this on BookTube. A few other people were talking about this. This is a non-fiction. It's a memoir based on Tara's life. So when she was little, she grew up in sounds like a very strange household where her family were preparing for the end of days. So she didn't go to school, they didn't participate in society, they were just planning for the end of days, which sounds bonkers. And then as she grew up, her father and her brother became more radical and violent. So it sounds pretty extreme. So at 16, she knew that she had to leave home and she educated herself. So this book is about her journey of leaving home and educating herself to be part of the real world, which I just can't fathom what that was like. So really looking forward to getting into this. And again, I've heard lots of really good things about it. Next, I bought An American Marriage by Tara Jones. Obviously, it is the winner of the Women's Prize Fiction. I won't go into this because everyone knows what it's about. It's about a newlywed couple, Celestial and Roy, who something extreme happens to them. Roy is accused of rape, which is a crime he didn't commit, but he is sentenced. And I think a lot of this book is epistolary, so it's done in letters between the two of them. And then later on there is a third narrative which has had a mixed bag of reviews. Some people didn't like it, some people did. So it's about their relationship over that time, and obviously it's a commentary on race in America. So hoping to get to this very soon. Next up, I have 3 books that I got out from my library. I got the Ford Book of Poetry for 2019. So this is a prize which is judged by 5 judges, and they look at, I think there's different categories. So there's like best collection, best single poem, that kind of thing. And really I'm just trying to broaden my poetry reading horizons, because like I said previously, I don't read much poetry, and I have been watching Jen's videos on finding poetry which resonates with you. I'll link her playlist down below because it's so good. So yeah, and she recommended this as one to dip into to find poets that you like. So if you have an anthology like this where there's lots of different poets, you can flick through and find one that you connect with, and then you can look more into their work. So that's what I'm hoping to do with this book. So I've been having a little flick through. There's already, I see one of my favourite poets in here, Jackie Kay. I bloody love Jackie Kay. But yeah, also Danez Smith, who just blows my mind. I heard a recording, or I'll have to find it and I'll try and link it down below, of the poem which is something about dinosaurs, or what is it called? Dinosaurs in the Hood. Bloody amazing. So yeah, looking forward to getting into this and reading a bit more poetry. Next, I picked up All the Birds Singing by Evie Wyld. Again, heard lots of good things about this. It was published a while ago. So this is about Jack White, who is the sole resident of an old farmhouse on an unnamed British island. So it seems very much tied to the weather and the landscape, which I like. And something strange is happening. So sheep are being picked off. Something a little bit scary. There's mention of a formidable beast. I love a formidable beast. I mean, what's not to love? I hadn't intended on picking this up. It was on a stand. My library does this thing called the pop-up book club. So they'll have a load of copies of the same book, and they give you like a little piece of paper, like a postcard. So when you finish reading it, you write your thoughts on it, and then they take it in and they leave them for other people, so other people can read your thoughts, which I think is a really lovely thing to do. So I just saw this and thought, ooh, I like a pop-up book club. I'll have a go at that. So yeah, I've got to get to this soon because I've got to take it back to the library. And the last one, which I'm very excited about, is Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. I only heard about this through, I think, Simon of Savage Reads. He mentioned it. This is a beast of a book. It's like 500 pages. So it's set across 5 different time periods. It's set in Britain, and it's about the lives of, I think it says mostly women, mostly black, who call it home. So it's 5 different narratives, 5 different time periods. So I'll just read out the blurb. So it says, Newcastle, 1905. 10-year-old Grace is an orphan dreaming of the mysterious African father she will never meet. Cornwall, 1953. Oh, I like anything set in Cornwall. Winsome is a young bride recently arrived from Barbados, realising the man she married might be a fool. London, 1980. Amma is the fierce queen of her squatter's palace, ready to smash the patriarchy with a new kind of feminist theatre. Oxford, 2008. Carol is rejecting her cultural background, Nigeria by way of Peckham, to blend in at her posh university. Northumberland, 2017. Morgan, who used to be Megan, is visiting Hattie, who's in her 90s, who used to be young and strong, who fights to remain independent and who still misses Slim every day. Now, what bloody hell? That just sounds all kinds of amazing. So, I'm still reading The Heart's Invisible Furies by John Boyne, because that's a beast. When I finish that, then I'm going to get onto this. But, ooh, I'm super excited about this. Okay, so that is my haul for June. Have you read any of these books? Are you going to read any of these books? Blah, blah, blah. You know the usual. Talk to me in the comments down below. Now, there's so many videos I want to do very soon. I've been slack at filming because, yet again, I've got PhD stuff that's taking up all my time. So, yeah, I'm going to be doing the BookTube newbie tag very soon. Also, I'm going to do a video on authors and books that have been on my shelves for a long while that I want to get around to reading this year. And what else? Oh, I'm going to do one on Daphne du Maurier, because I bloody love Daphne du Maurier. She's like one of my favourite authors, as you might have noticed by my picture on my channel. Anyway, if there's stuff that you think of that you want to see on this channel, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll give it a go. Other than that, I will see all you lovely people in my next video. Bye!